If 20% of a number is 30, the whole number is 100%, so that's 5 times bigger. So if 20% is 30, the number itself, which is 100%, is 5 times. If 25% of a number is 20, the number itself, which is 100%, is 4 times as much. Ha! Oh yeah. If 20% of a number is 20, we could say that if a quarter of a number is 20, then the number itself is 80, 4 times. Because this is a quarter of the whole number. So the whole number is 100%, is 4 times 20 is 80. In general, if 14% is 98, I didn't have room to put if 14% of a number, if 14% of x is 98, x is 98 divided by, remember we don't work in percentages, we do 2 places back. So I could read if 0.14x is 98, times by 0.14 is division by 0.14 on that side. This is the easiest one in the book, I guess. If 20% of the Australian population is in Sydney, well, the rest of the population in Australia lives elsewhere. Because the total population, this is called the whole population, means 100%. So there's 79 missing. Typical sum: cat food 20%, fish 70%. So altogether what we know I don't know why I have done this double. 20% fish, 75% cereal. So far we have 95. So something else has to be 5%. Ha! 13% of 100 cents. So that's 0.13 times 100. We have learned that if you times something by 100, the decimal point moves 2 places to the right. So 0.3 times 100 is 13. We have to decrease 400 by 25%. It is very handy to know the standard fractions. So it's easy to say, oh, we have to decrease this number by a quarter. Numeracy, 25%, that's a quarter. 25 over 100 is a quarter. But those have to be learned separately. So we have to decrease 400 by a quarter. Now a quarter of 400 is 100. Decrease means 400 less 100, so that's 300. This is the opposite. Increase 560 by 20%. Standard fraction of 20% is a fifth. So we have to increase this by a fifth. How many fives in 5? 1. How many fives in 6? 1, 1 left, 2. So a fifth of this is 112. And because it is increased, plus. I like to make fun of these silly expressions. A shopkeeper buys something for $60 and he sells it for $80. So he has 20% profit. Now the question is, we have to answer 20% of 60 or 20% of 80. So he makes a profit 60, he makes a profit of 20, that is a third. Now we're going the other way around from fraction to percentage. Those are the standard. Well, this is a complicated one, but it's actually the easier. Double 3 and this number, 33 and a third. So a third is 33 and a third percent. 20% profit is a quarter of 80. If you call this 100%, a quarter is 25%. Something costs 2,680 and the profit is 22%. Now the whole cost is 100% plus 22%. So we have to do 122% of this, but we don't work with percentages. 122% is 2 places back is 1. So he sells it for this. Sometimes in a fraction we leave the last naught out because it's silly, but because it is money we have to put this in. 60 cents. Weird thing. So before we said it's silly to put a naught, but if it refers to money, we have to put this note here, 60 cents. That's all calculator work. Something costs 400, 15% discount. So this is 100%. Less 15, so he sells it for 85%. 85% of 400, of course, 2 places back, so that is 4 times. 85%, instead of going here 2 places back, we take the 2 noughts up. We did that before. $2.10 for 3 kilo. This is the unitary system. So if 3 kilo costs this, then 1 kilo costs this divided by 3, and then 5 kilo, yes, so that is, so we go from 3 kilo to 1 kilo, that is 70 cents, and if we want, so this is 1 kilo, and if you want 5 kilo, then it is $3.50. Unitary method. This for 3, that means 70 cents for 1, and $3.50 for 5. That is just old-fashioned shopkeeper. We're turning fractions into decimals. Well, this is just division. So to put it in your calculator, yeah, I mean 3/4, you have to know that's 0.75. I have a page called the famous dozen. Half, a quarter, 3/4, a fifth. So this is automatically, in your calculator, C divided by 4, and the calculator said 0.75. But that is one of the standard, one of the famous dozen. 3/4 is 0.75. I don't know why we go from decimal back to fractions, because we got rid of the fractions to go to there. But of course the school wants to know what it was 300 years ago. Can you see how clumsy this is? So I only put it here because to show that this is more effective. 2 whole numbers, and this is less than 1. 2 whole numbers, and 13 out of 1,000. 3% means 3 on 100. 125%, 2 places back. The calculator puts the dot here, the decimal point. But in ordinary writing we don't. So you have to think it here. 2 places back, 1.25. Three and a half, we have to turn that into an improper fraction. Times plus, see how handy that is? No times plus. 6 and 1 is 7, the name stays the same. This is the same as 7 on 200%. Rate, not the council rates, no. A plant grows 70 centimeters in a week. And we say then that the daily rate, that's 1 day, so it grows 7 centimeters in 7 days. So that is 1 centimeter in 1 day. That is the daily rate. Population increases so much in 5 years. But annual growth, that means we want to know how many in 1 year. 1400 divided by 5. How many 5s in 14? 2. That's 10. How many 5s in 40? 80, and then the naught. So 1400 in 5 years, annual growth. So annual, that relates to per annum, per year. and it relates to anniversary because you have it only once a year. This is all Latin. Annual, anniversary, per annum. Premium. If you go to insure your car or your house, they have a list. And for whatever this is, you pay $3.50 per 100 units. Or per $100. Now if you have something worth 10,000, that is 100 times bigger. This is 100. This is the 10,000, so the 2 off. So $3.50 for 100. If you want 10,000, that is 2 places further. 1, 2, that's $350. Whatever you want to insure. Called premium. Ha! This is a bricklaying sum. The man can do 180 in 60 minutes. And this is actually the unitary method in one go. Of course, instead of 180 divided by 60, because that is then 1 minute, we do 18 divided by... See, this is intelligent mathematics. Straight away, I don't need that note. So, he does 3 in 1 minute, and in 40 minutes, 120. We already did algebra, not a stupid box, because that doesn't work here. 3/5 of a box is 9. We want to know in the end what x is. We do division, becomes multiplication first. So this is 45, multiplication becomes division here. 45 divided by 3. Your I is straight away 45 divided by 3. You don't actually have to write this down because this is done in your head, because 45 divided by 3 times divide. This is my recipe, times divide. So this is actually a long way of, this is just explanation. So this is times divide. 84 divided by 4 is 21. Mentally, don't write this down. Times divide. 84 divided by 4. That is 7/10 and 7/14 is 84. Mental arithmetic.